Hello once again YouTube, Chris the Nightbringer here bringing you some Feed the Beast action. When we left off, we attacked a Naga. As you can see, there's like all this crazy shit going on behind me, and as you can see by the top of the screen, there's a Hydra health bar. What's up with that, you dare ask? Well, here's the thing. This episode is actually going to be a build episode. Unfortunately, we won't be attacking a Hydra or anything crazy like that today. The Hydra, of course, is over there. I'll be saving that for a future episode. Of course, we aren't particularly prepared to attack a Hydra today, unfortunately. It's just something I'll get to in a future date. However, we did come here for a purpose. This is a fire swamp in the Twilight Forest, and there's a specific block that we need, and that block is, well, it's right here. This is a smoking block, and basically we need these for our factory because, like I said, today is going to be a build video. And in fact, today I'm going to be building a very large portion of the factory. I finally acquired the materials to do it. So let's see what we got here. First, I'm going to have to get this out of the way. And if I can take this itself, well, that works. Perfect. Okay, so we got one. We're going to need 6 of these things. These things turn on fire, so I'll also take that too. And we'll use those at a future date. I'm using the gravity gun, and I'll show you why. Underneath every single one of these is actually lava, and you're not supposed to be able to get these. So when you destroy them with a mining pick or some other form of implement, it actually gets completely destroyed. Kind of like what my mining laser just did, because it's a piece of shit. And yeah, so, alright, so, oh my god. These things will catch you on fire, so you have to be careful. And I apologize if it's very loud, because to me, it is very loud. Holy crap. It shouldn't be too loud, though, so we should be cut. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up, if I can. There we go. And blast it, and of course it disappears. And I didn't pick it up. So hopefully our mining... Oh my god, look at that. I'm holding the gun. That's never happened before. Holy shit, that thing is huge. There was a bug in the last version of Feed the Beast, and you couldn't actually see the item that you were holding, and now I guess you can. Damn, that is cool. That is really cool. I didn't know it was that big, but holy shit. That's dope. That is so dope. I feel like I could just like grab this thing with this by the face, kind of like this, and throw it with this massive gun that I have. Oh my good god. That is fantastic. That is that is great. That's really cool. So we're gonna take some of these, and I need 6 of these smoking blocks, and of course my freaking mining laser is destroying blocks. So I've only got what, 2 now? I'm gonna need 4 more, and hopefully there's enough in this fire swamp for me to get that many. I don't see a lot of them. I do see some fire in this direction. I see some smoke. So let's hurry up and get this stuff. And we need to hurry up because this episode might be a little bit long because I plan on filming the entirety of what I'm building today. And I don't want to spend too long diddle-daddling or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. With this stuff. And I'll show you a few things I've... Oh, wrong block. Oh, there it goes. It's in the lava. Let's get this and then let's get the hell out of here. And I guess we're going to go over towards... Oh, did you hear those birds chirping? How lovely that they live so close to an ancient mythical beast of destruction. Because right now the Hydra is actually targeting me, maybe, and it's not too happy that I'm even here. So let's hurry up and get this stuff, and then we'll get the hell out. I don't really know if there's anything I've done in the since the last episode other than acquire the materials for what I'm building today. So, whoa, I can't pick this up. Why is that? Uh-oh. Whoa. Jesus. Everything just like fast forwarded. That was really weird. That was like a really bad bug. I keep destroying these blocks, and I really think that I just want a mining pick, and I have one. So I'm not going to use the laser on this anymore. Oh my good god, it exploded right while I was walking over it. That is not cool. Is there any water nearby? I don't really want to burn forever. Oh geez. Horrible start. Come on. Let's get these things, because I'm going to need a lot of these in the future, and getting them now just saves the time. So in the future, we won't have to worry about so many dangers when we come and attack the Hydra, which is really good. Let's get rid of that. My lab pack needs to be recharged, unfortunately, and I'm God, this is so nice that I have this gravity gun, because now I can actually pick these things up. Surprisingly, they actually did disappear, uh, because they fell into the lava last time I ever messed around with these things. But I'm going to be using these for smokestacks because that's a genius freaking idea, I think. So in the future, I'll be using these with smokestacks and stuff, and you'll see that today if we get to that portion of my build. So let's get rid of this, and I'm going to pick that up and put it here. And we have 6. I would like to get 7 just in case we somehow lose one, so let me go find one real quick. This shouldn't be too far. Oh, good. God, the terrain in this place is dangerous. There's squirrels and fucking Bambi over there is like frolicking for his life because he's gonna die from burning alive. That's terrible. I have canned food here. Fantastic staple of modern technology is throwing food into an aluminum tin or tin can. It's quite fantastic, and I think in the future I'm just gonna make vending machines, and I'm gonna hook them up to a Trado-mat, and basically I'm gonna have to supply myself with coins, and I'm gonna have to pay to get food, and I think that's gonna be kind of cool, because like that's what you do in real life, right? Everybody just lives off of vending machine products, kind of like in Fallout. Do you ever notice that they sell like mashed potatoes in the vending machines in Fallout? Isn't that weird? Anyway, we have 7 of these smoking blocks. I only needed 6, so let's get back home and get to that stuff. All right, and so we're here at the Blowing Engine House. We started this building a few episodes ago, as you can see over here. It's what we left off on when we started the construction a few episodes ago. Um, Nothing much has really changed aside from the fact that I added one missing block up there and I added the rest of the arch to this doorway. Also, I don't think I mentioned this, but I actually laid out the foundation for how big this building is. So just real quickly, let me show you how big this building is. I'll probably speed this up, so look at this. There. That's how big this building gets. That's how big this building is. Can you see why I haven't built the rest of it yet? I need to actually get the materials to do it. I've counted it out, and it's in the thousands of blocks. I have them all in the chests down there, and in fact, I'm about to drop some off, so let me go do that. All right, so this is what is going to become the blast furnace stoves for my blast furnace site. Now, right behind this, between the blast furnace stoves and the, oh, well, actually, no, that's not true. Um, Off to the side, on either side of this is going to be a blast furnace building, and I'm going to have to build 4 blast furnaces and 2 sets of stoves. This is going to be one of them. In the middle is an elevator along with a staircase, and some scaffolding goes up all the way to the top to meet these things. And I'll be building all of this. Oh my God, I missed some blocks over here. I did not realize that. Anyway, this is what we're going to be building today. We're going to be building the basic framework for both these cylindrical towers as well as the framework for the elevator. And I might have to extend this platform out a little bit. This platform is just a stone platform, or what would be a concrete platform for this stuff to actually sit upon. But that's what we're going to be doing today, and this entire thing is going to be sped up, and I'm going to see if I can get a multiple camera view shot of me doing this. Nothing fancy. I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I apologize ahead of time. But let's get started. These things are pretty tall. 44 meters tall, just the stoves, and on top of that is another 36 meters with a smokestack. So let's get ahead with this. I've got all my materials here in barrels. I'm ready to go. Let's get out some saws. This one's about to bite the dust, so I'm going to get some other ones. And enjoy. Here you can see me starting to rise up and build one of the first of the towers. I'm only going to be building 3 on camera because I figured after you saw me do this 3 times in a row, you would get pretty bored. And that's understandable. There's not a lot going to happen in this video, I can tell you that right now, but we are getting the structure down for some more important stuff later. These are, like I said, the stoves for the blast furnace. A real-life blast furnace requires heated air in order to function, and the heated air just basically saves time on part of the actual combustion process of iron and melting it into some usable material. So these stoves basically turn on and heat up air, and then that gets pumped into a blast furnace. And there's going to be a decent amount of piping around this when it's done. There's a decent amount of scaffolding and stairs, like I said earlier too, that we're going to have to do. There's an elevator for each set of stoves, and I'll be building more than one of these sets of stoves in the future. For now, I am only planning on building 4 blast furnaces, but in the future I could be building as many as 6 or even 8, but I highly doubt it. It's a big undertaking just to build these big towers right here. It takes a very long time, and if I'm doing this legitimately in survival, it takes a lot of resources, and of course to even longer to get all these resources together and counted for and then spent on this, because you can't actually just jump into a time lapse like this without having the resources available, and I kind of need them available. Otherwise I'd be stopping and resuming a film session every 2 minutes just to make sure that I had enough resources. So I actually count out how many resources I need, and it's not that hard. Basically it's just multiplication, or even an estimation. Like in this video I didn't count out how many blocks of black wool I would need, but I did count out things for other builds that I'll be doing in the future. At this point, I'm starting the construction of the dome shape at the top, and domes are really hard because if you're doing this with micro blocks, which is fantastic by the way, it gets a lot more complicated. Basically, there's double the amount of blocks, or quadruple the amount of blocks in a single block space, so you can have really nice looking domes that look really smooth compared to regular Minecraft. So that's why I'm using the micro blocks, so that I can get that added detail with the build. But on top of that, the build itself is hard because you have to memorize the pattern for this dome, which is basically a whole bunch of circles stacked on top of each other. I use a fantastic website, or 2 fantastic websites, to figure out my domes. One of them would be Mineconics, and the other one would be Plots. Mineconics is mostly a 2D interface where it just shows you lines and the shapes of like circles and stuff that are only one layer, but Plots is really useful for finding things out for ellipses and circles and spheres and cylinders and excuse me, all sorts of awesome stuff like that. So that's where I go to when I need something like a dome to be built in game. Hope with these blast furnaces is that in the future I'll be doing even more elaborate builds than this, more elaborate things than blast furnaces themselves. And while a blast furnace and all of its companion structures and companion buildings, so to say, are very elaborate in on themselves, I do plan on doing even larger scale builds with this. I do plan on hopefully getting a server where me and my friends will be able to do work on these builds together, and it'll make things go a lot faster, hopefully. I highly doubt that somehow, but who knows. And in the future, builds like this are going to be quite common in my channel. I just want to let you know, because I think things like this are fantastic. Personally, I see too much of the medieval and like old architectural styles that people use in their time lapses or even in general for Minecraft, and it's starting getting a little bit boring, and that's when I decided that I was going to get invested in Feed the Beast. I said during my first video, I'm planning on making a really industrial looking place, a really industrial factory. It's going to be dangerous, hazardous and stuff. Toxic waste here when I get a nuclear power plant or something, and a whole bunch of lava over here just in a pit ready to be smelted into metals or something. And of course with Feed the Beast you can do that. You can turn metal or turn lava into metal, which is fantastic. I think it's great, but like I said, nobody does things in modern times as much as they should, and it's not that I don't see that, but I see the wrong type of it, I think. I mean, I'm focusing on a very industrial type of build and a very industrial and hazardous style of build, and I don't see that very often in Minecraft. It's very strange how some things are avoided and some things aren't, and some things are done over and over again. Here you can see I'm starting the 2 towers adjacent to the one that I just finished. It's pretty tall and imposing. Now I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm basing all the measurements off of this build and all of the subsequent builds off of model railroad measurements. I'm converting them because model railroads are always a constant scale, and whereas real life blast furnaces vary in size, and I don't know which one to pick or stick with. And you can never find the exact measurements for everything on a single blast furnace, so I'm using model railroad kits and stuff like that to figure it out. And it turns out that I actually built the wrong scale. If you know anything about model railroads, you know that they come in different scales like HO and N. This build was supposed to be done in N scale, and I did it in HO scale, which is like literally 3 times bigger than N scale. So these buildings are actually turning out 3 or so times larger than they're supposed to be. The thing is they actually look really great, and they actually look really realistic, because in a future video, the next video after this one, hopefully, I have already recorded it, and the details that I was able to fit onto the build itself was actually really nice, and it actually looked very natural compared to having a smaller building, which would have made it look very funky. It certainly would have made the buildings far less impressive. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm building up the sides of the tower, so if you don't see me on screen, it's because I'm probably hiding behind the actual building itself. And here you can see me putting on the final 2 domes of these 2 stoves here. Like I said, you have to remember the pattern for the domes, and at this point I actually got it down. I'm pretty good with this stuff. Micro blocks are really nice because you can get a lot of detail into a small amount of space. The unfortunate thing is they're kind of glitchy, if you have never noticed, but sometimes if you place a block, it'll disappear for some reason, and sometimes you can't even break blocks until you break one that's adjacent to it or stuck to it or something, or one that occupies the same block as the one you're trying to break. It's very strange. I don't exactly know why it does that, but I guess it's just a bug, and you know, it's something you have to deal with when you're building. Personally, I like time lapses that involve a day-night cycle, complete day-night cycle, because you get to see how long it actually takes to complete a build. And in terms of total time, I'd say this portion of the build took me about an hour and a half or so, maybe less. It wasn't too much of a chunk of time as I thought it would be, but I didn't include the night time in the video so much. I often just skipped it straight to dawn. Because for some reason the video comes out really dark, and I already have my brightness settings turned up all the way, so I have no idea how the video turns out so dark, but I gotta keep it bright in order for you guys to see. In the future videos you'll be able to see some full day and night cycles. It should make a pretty nice and interesting dynamic to some of the time lapses we'll be doing in the future. Here we finally get started on smokestacks, and on top of this massive pillar that is the stove, you can already see that the smokestack even goes farther. Um, and in fact, right now I'm building the prototype for the blast furnace off camera in a creative build. It's not the real thing, and I know it's kind of weird that I'm doing this off camera in creative before I do it in survival, but um, doing it in creative allows me to plan ahead and avoid mistakes and avoid downtime, because I don't want to spend time recording and then stopping and fixing something, or recording a bunch of mishaps and then deleting stuff and fixing it. I want a smooth build. I want something that just rises out of the ground and forms this perfect building or this perfect shape that I need it to be. I don't want to mess around too much with figuring things out as I'm recording. It's just a waste of time. It would take me literally 6 hours to build this thing, which is kind of ridiculous, and I don't have that time to spend not only editing that, but planning that. It's just too much stress when you have to worry about time constraints and stuff. But here you can see that I am fully aware of how the structure is supposed to be built, and I think that's really nice. I like how 2 seconds ago I mentioned that there would be no day and night cycles, and yet here it is, nighttime, and the only thing you can see is the smokestacks, which I am now lighting. And there you have it. That's what those smoke blocks were for, lighting up this smoking stove. Like to keep in mind, oh yeah, look at that, it just blew out the side of it. Fantastic. That's the type of mistake I want to avoid. I'd like to mention that in the future I will be doing time lapses with a moving camera, probably in the next episode actually, if not the one after, but finally got that working. And yeah, I just want to let you know that it's only going to get better from here on out. I really want to present some really cool and interesting stuff. Generally, this isn't a topic in Minecraft that most people have come across, you know, industrial crap, so I'm going to throw that at your face, and hopefully you'll eat it up, and I hope you enjoyed this build. Like I said, in the future, we're going to be doing a lot more with this building in particular, but we also have to finish the blowing engine house too, which we started a few episodes ago. And as this series progresses, we might be doing this type of thing where we go from one building to the next and touch up on certain things or fix things that we need to fix. Because as I'm building this, I'm researching it too, and I'm learning that things might be different than what I originally thought, and it warrants the additional attention in order to make everything just really nice and come together and turn into a really awesome build. But there you have it. That's the end of the stoves. I hope you liked the video and whatnot. Please tell me if I talk too much, because I realized I've been talking for like 14 minutes straight on Audacity, which is ridiculous. So tell me what you think. It's actually not that ridiculous, considering I do it for 20 minutes every other episode. Anyway, comment, rate, favorite, and subscribe. Tell me what you think of this series so far. Tell me what you think of the build so far. And I'll see you next time. Click the link at the end of the video to watch the next episode when it comes out. And have a nice day. Those at a future date. I'm using the gravity gun, and I'll show you why. Underneath every single one of these is actually lava, and you're not supposed to be able to get these. So when you destroy them with a mining pick or some other form of implement, it actually gets completely destroyed. Kind of like what my mining laser just did, because it's a piece of shit. And yeah, so, alright, so, oh my god. These things will catch you on fire, so you have to be careful, and I apologize if it's very loud. Won't be attacking a Hydra or anything crazy like that today. The Hydra, of course, is over there. I'll be saving that for a future episode. Of course, we aren't particularly prepared to attack a Hydra today, unfortunately. It's just something I'll get to in a future date. However, we did come here for a purpose. This is a fire swamp in the Twilight Forest, and there's a specific block that we need, and that block is, well, it's right here. This is a smoke, because to me, it is very loud. Holy crap. It shouldn't be too loud, though, so we should be cut. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up, if I can. There we go. And blast it, and of course it disappears. And I didn't pick it up. So hopefully our mining... Oh my god, look at that. I'm holding the gun. That's never happened before. Holy shit, that thing is huge. There was a bug in the last version of Feed the Beast, and you couldn't actually see the item that you were holding, and now I guess... Hello once again, YouTube. Chris the Nightbringer here, bringing you some Feed the Beast action. When we left off, we attacked a Naga. As you can see, there's like all this crazy shit going on behind me, and as you can see by the top of the screen, there's a Hydra health bar. What's up with that, you dare ask? Well, here's the thing. This episode is actually going to be a build episode. Unfortunately, we won't be block, and basically we need these for our factory because, like I said, today is going to be a build video. And in fact, today I'm going to be building a very large portion of the factory. I've finally acquired the materials to do it. So let's see what we got here. First, I'm going to have to get this out of the way. And if I can take this itself, well, that works. Perfect. Okay, so we got one. We're going to need 6 of these things. These things turn on fire, so I'll also take that too.